Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, and I'm delighted to be joining Gabriela with her fantastic film, The Cookbook. Let's take a look at the clip.
¿Encontraste mi libro?
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of the New Filmmakers LA family, and thank you for bringing the cookbook to us. We just loved having your film with us, so thank you. For those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
Okay, first, thank you guys for having us. This was one of the best screenings we ever had, so my heart's so full tonight. The cookbook is the story of a girl that bonds with the ghost of her aunt over cooking chiles en nogada. And so, it's a story about intergenerational relationships and how, I personally would like to bond with my ancestors and the women of my family that are not here anymore.
It's such a beautiful story. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. I love that it was centered around food and centered around ancestry and appreciation of family. There was so much in there. Where did the inspiration come for you to decide to turn this story into a film?
I did it actually thinking of my great-grandmother. I was originally born in Cuba, but I ended up living in Mexico. And my great-grandmother, she was Mexican. So I always felt that there is this special connection, even though I didn't get to know her because she passed away before I was born. But just end up living in her country and learning her culture. It made me always feel connected to her, and I wanted to express that in the film. And I chose the food because for me, I love food. My whole life revolved. My day revolves about eating and writing. So it's something that for me really helps connect people. And chiles en nogada is a very special dish in Mexico. So that's how it just came along.
Well, that dish I've tried and it's delicious.
I know.
It's so good. my mouth was watering whilst I was watching your film. It was very well done. But this was so special, especially from this young character's perspective and her relationship, and also just, the dynamics that you're going through when a family is split at that age as well. And then also discovering things about yourself, in this case through her aunt, how special. How did you know, taking it from your own story, that you wanted to create these characters? How did that involvement go in writing the script?
I always knew that I want to be a girl, a teenager, because she's actually when we shot that, she was 14. Because I feel that we're always evolving and growing and learning, but that's a very particular age where you discover who you are, and part of who we are is also who and where we come from. So for me, it was important that it was a young girl in that journey. And originally the script was with grandma. It was called Abuela's Cookbook. But we shot in the middle of the pandemic. So before the vaccines, right before the vaccines came out, so it was kind of difficult to get an actress of a certain age. And I was I'm just gonna rewrite it and I'm gonna make it Tia. And I'm very happy with that decision because Stephanie, our actress, she's amazing.
Did a great job.
She did. She just created a beautiful character. So I felt like that was just the way it was meant to be. And it just happened, evolve in the way that it was supposed to. And I'm just happy with that.
I think there's something, extra special because this is obviously, in relation to you being from Cuba and then also Mexico, both those places have such traditions when it comes to food, and then passing through through family over the course of centuries, which I think is so special. Is that something you really wanted to center around, was the food element, because it really is a huge part of culture as well?
Yeah, totally. I mean, nowadays you can just go to open your phone, Google chiles
Yeah.
and nogadas recipe. But when I grew up, it wasn't like that. Like my mom, she's always loved to cook, and she had these basically were notebooks like this one in our film that she will write recipes.
Yeah.
And me and my sister will read them, and so it's this tradition of passing along like the family recipes that everybody puts like their special touch.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it just felt so beautiful to watch and just to see, that centers family together, and especially in this young girl who's got family that are separated. One of the things that I just love that you incorporated for, certainly coming from a single mother as well myself, but it's just how you just celebrated the mother and what that mother was doing to work hard to feed her children, to take care. Like, you did a really good job in celebrating that. Was that something that was important to you to put into the film?
Yeah, I was also raised by a single mother and who had like a really hard time, that was back in the 90s in Cuba. It was a difficult time. So she raised me and my sister. And for me, it's important to bring that, but it's also something that it also comes like kind of natural because that's what I learned, seeing my mom struggle, but also fighting and getting through things and, never giving up until she took us out of Cuba. And so I just learned that. And so I grew up in that kind of environment where women are strong, they don't give up. And I always try to put that in my characters because I don't know. I don't really try, to be honest. It just comes that way.
No, it's natural. Because there's amazing women out there that are very strong for their children, their families, and so we both came from that ourselves. So I love that you incorporated that. No, I just love obviously the magical elements that you gave this as well. It was so special. I felt like I was a child watching it. How did you go about, as a director, and creating those magical moments and elements that you put into the film?
I wanted to be funny and cute.
Yeah.
And I wanted the ghosts to be friendly because where I come from, we do believe in ghosts, but you have the friendly version and the not so friendly version. Yes. So I wanted to just be magical, So I also wanted to be practical tricks because we didn't really have a huge budget for visual effects. So it was just a little bit of mix and match. What can we do that is kind of cute, funny, brings them together, because it was important that they were not just random jokes or random effects or tricks. It was important that it was something that brings them together, but also wouldn't cost a fortune. Yeah,
exactly, absolutely. Obviously it depends on the film as well, but how do you enjoy working with your actors? What kind of rehearsal, improvisation, how is your process in working with your actors as a director?
I actually don't do much rehearsal. And I think the most important part is just the casting.
Yeah.
And I think it's very intuitive. When you see a self-tape, I feel like within the first few seconds, if you're looking at the right person for that character, which is nothing to do with talent. It's just you can have an actor that is very talented, it's just not the right person for that role. So it's kind of with the very the first 10-15 seconds, you already get a feeling that this is right or this isn't right.
You feel it, yeah.
And then you let them do their thing. I do give them some kind of more general indication of sometimes I don't know, play this say this line as if it was to yourself.
Yeah.
That kind of very general stuff.
Yeah.
But I've just been lucky enough to work with really, really talented actors. So they just do their magic. No,
most definitely. Was there any kind of challenges that you had in making this particular project? Or?
Yeah, we did. We have a lot. The main one was just shooting during the pandemic.
Yeah, of course.
And we did it with very, very little budget. So we shot in my producer, he let us use his kitchen because we didn't have budget to bring art along. So.
It looked great though.
Yeah, we did that ourselves.
Yeah, really good job. I was like, oh my goodness, it was like a fairy tale.
Well, the secret is contact paper.
Okay, there's a secret, everybody. There you go. That's great.
Contact paper, orange contact paper, candles, and my DP is amazing, and she did a really, really, in my opinion, beautiful job.
Beautiful to
making
watch.
That beautiful.
Yeah.
And so it's the biggest challenge were basically shooting something during the pandemic.
Well, seeing all those elements that you brought together, from design to just kind of creating this sort of fairy tale atmosphere in a kitchen with all the restraints and everything else that you had. Having it on the big screen was very, very special. We loved having it in New Filmmakers LA in partnership with the Academy, celebrating Latinx storytellers locally and globally. Like, how was that experience for you, seeing your film on the big screen last night?
It was one of the best screenings I ever had in my life, and I'm being 100% honest on that. I really loved it. I think there was many elements. I mean, it goes from the technical elements that, you know, it was an amazing theater with a great projector and the stuff, but also, like, you know, you guys in New Filmmakers, like, you really work hard to have like a beautiful program. Every short that I watched, it was very special. Every filmmaker that was in, not just in that program, also in the other programs, they were like, everybody has something important to say.
Yeah.
And I feel like that created like a whole experience, and that, you know, like, because I was the director of this, but I was the audience of the rest.
Yes.
And it allowed me to enjoy this journey, and
Yeah.
it was amazing. And the audience was just like, you know, very giving, like they were enjoying themselves, like, you know, letting themselves laugh with the comedies, letting themselves scream and get scared with the horror ones.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
It's true. I know the journey we went on yesterday for all the film genres, just like happy, sad, angry, upset, you know, it's everything for sure.
I even cried with one of the shirts, and I was surprised. I'm not a crier.
Yeah, me too. And I've seen the films before. I was like, my goodness. But I love how you said you saw it as a director and as an audience member, because I thought all of your group of filmmakers were so supportive of each other. It was like really beautiful to see the camaraderie between, you know, each other. Gabriela, what's next for you?
Well, I'm mostly working in writing. I'm co-writing the script with a Brazilian American director that I really, really admire, and I'm working also on my own personal projects. That it's also like a horror film.
I'm ready. Yes.
But this one's set in Cuba.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so
Are you going to film in Cuba?
Ideally, yes. We'll see. Yes.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
It's a dark comedy with horror.
Wow, I'm ready for it. That's fantastic. And is it a short or a feature?
It's a feature.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm ready. Is this your first feature?
Yes. It's very out there. We'll see.
We love out there. That's all we need from you, Gabriela. Just always give us, you know, what's great about when you've got that imagination, that vision, is that you allow us to go into that world. So we need more of that. So I'm glad that you're doing that. For any filmmakers out there that are seeing you doing what you're doing, you know, as filmmakers that aspire to be in your position, particularly filmmakers that can relate to you as well, like, what kind of advice do you have or you go by as an artist that you could share with our audience?
Honestly, like, it's just do your own stuff. Like, most of the people the filmmakers that I admire and I see them outside doing like very interesting stuff, they had done it on their own. And it's amazing if a studio notices you and opens the door for you, and it's like, here's big budgets, make your movie. But the reality is that doesn't happen most of the time. So it's just, my advice is like, don't wait just hoping that somebody else is gonna give you an opportunity someday.
100%.
Just go and do what you can with the best you can. And I wish I'd done that like 10 years earlier than I did, you know? But I think that's the advice that I wish somebody had told me like long time ago. Yeah,
well, the greatness is you're ready now and you're doing great things, and we're ready to get scared again, Gabriela, whatever you bring us next for your first feature. But listen, thank you so much for bringing your film to us at New Filmmakers LA. Welcome to the filmmaking family, and we can't wait to see your next project. But thank you for the cookbook. Appreciate you.
Thank you for all the experience. It's been really amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.